Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I don't know if you saw the title of my video, but I feel I just need to tell you that I had to put Max down on Sunday. Tough isn't the word. Almost impossible decision, but it's one that we have to make, I guess, sometimes, or eventually. As you may have seen, if you're a regular subscriber to my channel, Max was 11 years old and he had some issues. I have told you about the liver disease that he had and some gallbladder issues. And Saturday, he was having a really tough time. I brought him outside and he started limping. And then he couldn't get up the stairs. It took myself and two neighbors to get him up into my apartment on the 3rd floor. So Saturday, he just did a lot of laying around the house, really wanted nothing to do with anything. Me, following me around the apartment like he normally would, none of that. And the past couple months, his liver enzymes improved. And the doctor told me, you could take him off the medication. If he starts becoming symptomatic, we can put him back on. So everything had been seeming okay with his liver. Although he had, I think Friday, I was over at my mom's house and he just destroyed a plant. He went to town eating this plant that he has never even touched over there at her house before. So that was Saturday. You might even seen my fall decorating video, and I had explained that I had a tough time getting him upstairs. And I think even in one part of the video, he was just laying on the floor. Saturday night, I think rest of the day Saturday, I was able to get him out to go pee once or twice more. So Sunday morning came around, 5:30 in the morning. I brought him outside, and he could barely walk. And I got him to the door, and I was able to get him up 2 steps to get into the building. And he was just collapsing. So I came up to my apartment. I told him, I said, stay right there. And I came up to my apartment and I got a long beach towel and I stood him up and I supported like underneath his belly and supported his back legs. And I had to drag or force him over to the step to go up to the first flight of stairs. And I lifted up his back end with his legs. And I tried to put his front legs, his paws, on a step. And he just collapsed. So I said, what am I supposed to do? I can't get him up. So I left him at the foot of the steps and I went up to my apartment here on the 3rd floor, grabbed my pocketbook, grabbed medications I needed to take, and grabbed his bag of dog food. And I went to my mom's. And I could barely get him in her house. And I knew that I needed to find a vet. His vet was closed on Sunday. I needed to find the urgent care, the nearest urgent care, in which we have one in this town. So I brought him in. They had a walk-in clinic starting at 11. So I brought him in. And Max, through all his issues with his gallbladder, his liver, never let me know, never a hint that he was in pain. And I don't know why he never let me know. He never acted like he was in pain. He acted like he was scared sometimes, but never. I don't know why, and I'll never know why he never let on to me that he was in pain. So anyways, I really don't want to make this long and dragged out. So the vet checked him out, looked at the fact that he just couldn't stand up, and they gave him x-rays. And they found that he had a slip disc in his back. I don't know how. And then they said that he had developed a neurological issue, like a neuropathy in his back legs, and he wasn't even recognizing that he had back legs. And they didn't do any liver enzymes or anything because this was just a walk-in clinic. And they said they sedated him for the x-rays. And they said that they had to sedate him because they had to manipulate his legs and stuff for the x-ray. And they said that during the x-ray, even sedated, he was crying out in pain. So he was just getting worse and worse in front of us. He would try to stand up and he would immediately collapse. And I could tell that he was in pain. He was showing a pain that he never showed me at home. And I guess I will never understand why he never showed me that he was in pain. Maybe going into the other room where I wasn't was his way of, I don't know. And I feel really bad. And I was there for about 4 or 5 hours. And different family members were coming. And I asked the vet to video chat my son, who's in the Navy, down in Virginia. I said, because my son isn't going to want to hear it from me. I need you to tell my son as a doctor what you think the best option would be for him, and that was euthanasia. And my son wouldn't buy it. He wouldn't buy it. He says, how does a dog get like this in a matter of 2 days? And I guess the fact of the matter is that they just can. They told me they could do CAT scan and ultrasound and an MRI to see what else was going on. But I really feel, even though we didn't do those tests, I really feel something was going on with his liver. He had like a tumor, or even his gallbladder may have burst, erupted, or whatever you call it. And that might have affected his spine and his back and the legs. But my boy was in pain. So they asked me, how are you going to do this at home? And I said, I can't. I can't even get him up the stairs. And they said that because of his liver problem, his liver disease, the only painkiller they could give him was the one that they gave him to do the x-rays, the injection. And they can't send me home with a liquid injection or IV. And then they asked other family members that were there, like my ex, my son's father, if she takes him home, he might last 24, 48 hours, maybe a week. Are you going to offer her support? And the answer that, my son's father gave wasn't a supportive one. So I made the decision for Max to go to sleep. And I didn't ever think anything like that would be so difficult. It was truly heart-wrenching. And I'm trying to compose myself the best I can for this video. But I'm going to tell you what. I don't know if animals know when you bring them to the vet and that they're going to be euthanized. I don't know if they know. But the reaction my dog was giving me is he certainly knew. And I didn't know that I would be so lonely. I didn't know my house would be so quiet. I would come home from work and I think he always heard my car coming down the way or me coming up the stairs, because I could hear him whimpering as he ran through the house, to greet me. And now I open the door and it's nothing. All I can hear is the clock ticking. There is such an emptiness. Max's little history was, I had him for 11 years. I got him when he was 4 months old. I met him at my workplace. The dietitian where I work, we were talking about getting my son a dog, and she said, I have some puppies. She was a rescue, a foster. So she says, why don't you try this little dog I have? His name is Max. He was 4 months old. And I took him home, and he had been with me since. I had a house in another town, and when I had to leave my ex, I took Max with me. And the condo development that I'm in was the only place that I could find that allowed pets, that allowed dogs. So he was here with me and my son. My son was always here, but when my son left to go to the Navy, it was always just me and Max. Max has been my constant for 11 years through everything. Through sickness, through my heart attack, through my viral infection, through my stroke, through everything. And I am alone. It's just me. And I'm looking around. I printed out some pictures of him and I put them to my photo wall, and I'll show you. But this is a loss like no other. And I don't mean to sound cruel or unfeeling, but this is almost worse than losing a human. So, going forward, you won't see Max in my videos. I'll probably always talk about him. So, I don't have Max anymore. The euthanasia was peaceful. They did it 3 injections. One of propofol to make him go to sleep, and then a saline flush, and then the overdose of whatever it's called, the anesthesia, the overdose of the anesthesia. It was a really thick syringe, and it was a pink fluid. And he didn't feel his heart stop because he was asleep already. And I said to him before they gave the injection, I said to him something that I would say to him every night when we went to bed. At night, we had a routine. We'd have supper. We'd go walking. I'd put his bed in front of the TV, in front of the recliner. I'd be in my recliner. He'd be on his bed. I'm looking at his bed right now. And then around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'd drag his bed into my room. He'd lay down. I would kiss him on the top of the head. And I would say, go seep, seep. Not sleep. Little baby voice. Go seep, seep. I'll see you in the morning time. I love you very much. So when they were administering the propofol to make him go to sleep, not, the end of his life yet, but to make him go to sleep, he was right I was on the floor with him, and his head was on my lap. I had shorts on. His head was right on my leg, and I kissed him on the top of the head for a long time. And I said, I love you. I said that about 20 million times. Go seep seep. I'll see you in the morning time. And he went seep seep. So I can only hope that this rainbow bridge that we hear of is real. I can only hope that he's running, that he's standing up, and that he's walking. I know I did the right thing because he was suffering, although he took a turn that was quick, like 2 days. But what I'm dealing with now is a hard time from certain family members, my son being one of them, that I made the wrong decision, that I should have gave it more time. He couldn't get up the stairs. He couldn't get up 2 steps, never mind 3 flights. Had I agreed to MRIs or ultrasound or CAT scan, maybe I would have known more in depth what the issue was. But what was that going to change? Nothing. So many people are telling me I did the right thing. I'm suffering now so that he didn't have to suffer. And I feel I need to be true to myself and my feelings and beliefs about being, karma and how we treat people. So these people that are mad at me, even my son, maybe someday they'll see that I did love him, that I didn't just want to get rid of him like they're saying. Because you know what? I was the only one that took care of him. I was the only one that brought him out to go to the bathroom. And there was other family members and my son's father that would drive by where I live on a daily basis coming home from work. And when did you ever stop to help me? I don't think I should be criticized for helping my dog. I didn't kill my dog, I helped my dog. And I don't know if all this criticism that I'm getting is their guilt for never coming around. But as far as I'm concerned, that was my dog. I believe I made the right decision. But any pet owner, any pet mom or dog dad, we don't ever want to do this. But we don't want them to suffer either. What does the future hold for me for other animals? I am swearing up and down that I will never get another dog because I don't want to go through this ever again. I don't want to watch an animal suffer. I don't want this heartbreak ever again. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know right now is my house is very quiet. I think I need to learn to put a radio on when I go to work so that I can come home to something. His bed is in the same spot. His collar is around my shifter in my car. it's only been a couple days. I'm hoping the hurt goes away and it just turns into nice memories. But right now, this is such a void and a hole in my heart. I've never done this before, and all I know is I don't want to do it again. So that's what I needed to tell you. I don't have Max physically anymore, but I'm hoping he is at peace. I'm hoping he is pain-free. I'm hoping he still loves me. And I was just trying to help him. And by showing you my feelings, I'm also being true to myself. I'm not going to hide my feelings. I'm not going to come on here and say, put my dog to sleep. Let's do a decorating video, because absolutely not. My channel is about being real. You will always get the real me. I will always tell you how I feel. Because my channel, not only do I talk about decorating and frugal living and stockpiling, I talk about being a real person, being true to yourself. And if these people want to be mad at me for putting my dog down, putting him to sleep, that was my dog. I took care of him. And he just couldn't make it this way anymore. So I'm going to end this video by showing you some of the pictures that I printed out. I wish you all well. Thank you for watching this video, which I'm sure is long. I haven't looked down at the clock yet, but I'm sure it's long. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you again soon. Let me show you the pictures of Max. This is Max out at the tennis court. We have a tennis court down where I live. And we used to go there and I'd throw a ball around. And that's him with a stick. I'd throw sticks too, and he'd go after them. That's Max, I believe, just laying in the grass. I forget where, maybe here, maybe down at the beach area that I go to. And that's Max out in the snow. So, thank you for watching.